I watched 6 Death Game movies, and here are my thoughts. And to be honest, it might be a stretch to call these all Death Games, but I'm going to. And I think the first two films are pretty interchangeable to me. So with that, let's get into it. At 6th place and at 2.5 stars, I put As the God's Will. High school student Shun Takahata is bored with the day-to-day monotony of school and life. He prays for change, for something exciting. Suddenly, he and his classmates are forced to play deadly children's games and face terrifying creatures from a talking Daruma doll to a sharp-clawed lucky cat. So, I want to first preface that I know very little Japanese and I was watching it subbed. And so I don't know if I fully understood everything that was going on, and there could be a cultural thing where I don't fully get everything. I didn't get invested in most of these characters. How we got to know them a lot was with flashbacks, and I don't know if that really worked for me. I also think it was like this film was kind of too long, but at the same time, it wasn't long enough. By that, I mean like I just was kind of ready for it to be over. But at the same time, I really wanted to get to know these characters more. I almost feel like it could have been longer, like 2 movies, because I want time to like be able to really care for these characters. And I thought the story was an interesting idea of this death game at their school. And I think it was trying to be goofy, and it definitely is. And like some of these games that they had to play were just really interesting and goofy. For what they were doing, I think it really should have been an anime. There was many parts where in an anime it would look kind of cool. In a live action, it looks goofy, and that might honestly be what they're going for. It was just an observation I had. Also, the film is very gory, which I mean could be a pro or a con depending on the person you are. I also thought the monster designs were honestly pretty fun, pretty goofy looking. Really bad CGI, which honestly makes it even a little bit better. I don't know, like the goofy CGI made this film I think even more enjoyable, but I still only give it 2.5 stars. Wasn't the biggest fan. I thought it was decently funny. Now, tied with the last film at 5th place is another 2.5 stars, which is No Escape Room. When an escape room attraction turns from a fun, bonding activity to a dangerous paranormal experience, a father and a daughter must flee from an angry spirit. So, this film really didn't have enough of the escape room elements. I still think it had a decent amount, but I think that they could have had more escape rooms to do or more things to figure out. And also, I mean, the haunted story isn't really explained much. I also don't know how I feel about that and the unanswered things that you really get. I think I enjoy some mystery to my story, and it has a lot of that, maybe too much, at least for some people. I also found it a bit confusing, but like I said, it's kind of this mystery to it that never is answered. The ending was kind of dumb, but it was fun for me at least. And this is a slight spoiler, but I thought the time loop idea that they use in this film was interesting. Dumb, maybe. Interesting, yeah. Okay, at 4th place at stars is The Hunt. 12 strangers wake up in a clearing. They don't know where they are, or how they got there. In the shadow of a dark internet conspiracy theory, ruthless elitists gather at a remote location to hunt humans for sport, but their master plan is about to be derailed when one of the hunted turns the tables on her pursuers. So this is a very political film, and I don't really like getting into politics, but I like how this film really showed problems on both sides. It didn't just attack a single side, which is kind of nice. I feel like most films that are political probably, I mean, I don't really watch a lot of political films, but I would think that they usually just focus on one side, but this film kind of makes fun of both sides, which is really nice. I didn't get wasn't too invested in this film much. It was pretty gory. It did something with the characters for the first 30 minutes, which I don't know how I completely feel about. I also did not understand everything, so I had to watch a video afterwards. You know, I don't know much about politics. I also didn't laugh very much, but I think the film was decent. Now, at 3rd place, at 3 stars, is Await Further Instructions. A dysfunctional family awake on Christmas morning to discover they're sealed inside their house by a mysterious black substance. On television, a single line of text reads, "Stay indoors and await further instruction." So this film is a lesser known film. It's definitely on the more obscure side, I would think, or like you're not going to see as many people knowing about this film. It's another film that just couldn't keep me invested. Maybe it's because I have a crappy attention span, or maybe they just didn't do enough to keep me invested. I think this film had a really interesting idea and a deeper meaning to it. A lot about how, media can affect how we see things, and it can portray things in different ways. And I also think it had a cool design towards the end. There's this design at the end. You'll know it if you've seen it, that I thought was really cool. And I think the design of this, the walls too, was really interesting. Now, at second place, at 3.5 stars, is Escape Room. Strangers find themselves in circumstances beyond their control and must use their wits to survive. So, when I watched this film, I thought there was some questionable dialogue. It is also a film you really want to suspend disbelief, because if you're watching this and you're like actually, thinking, you'll understand that some of the things that these characters realize or come to the conclusion of is kind of a bit of a stretch. And I thought the ending was dumb and unnecessary, but I actually kind of enjoyed that. Like, I'm not going to complain too much because, then there's the second one, which is also ridiculous. And there is some interesting escape rooms in this film. Now, at first place, at 3.5 stars, I have Escape Room Tournament of Champions, which is the sequel to The Escape Room. 6 people unwittingly find themselves locked in another series of escape rooms, slowly uncovering what they have in common to survive, discovering they've all played the games before. It's another film you want to suspend disbelief. It also has interesting escape rooms, and yes, it definitely wasn't the most realistic thing, but the escape room films, these two, are just entertaining for the most part. So those are my thoughts. I'm trying to get more in depth when I review movies and really try to figure out why I like films or why I don't like films. But I'm still new to this and I'm still trying to figure things out. So if you have any tips or anything else that could help make my videos better, please tell me. I would love to know. I really want to improve and give you guys good quality. And my thoughts on these escape room films, none of them were outstanding, but I don't think that any of them were really bad. I would love to know what I watched blank of I should do next, because I'm trying to watch subgenres of horror mostly. I did the disturbing one a little bit ago, and then I did the comedy one before that. If you want to check those out, I'll have them in the description. And with that, bye.